everybody, and welcome to the Cougar-licious Clubhouse TV show. It's so much fun to have you join us, and we have some special guests tonight. We have Robin Shaw and we have Ron Coleman, two fabulous comedians that you find all over the place in Las Vegas right here. But first, before we get into our conversations, I'd like to acknowledge our sponsor for today's show, which is Linder Health. And actually, it's a skincare line. It's health care for the skin. And this is what I use. I've been using it for several years now, and it's absolutely fantastic. Keeps your face glowing and smooth and plump and wonderful, and gets rid of all of those nasty little aging lines that, you know, we always have to fight against. But and as you're watching today, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button, and be sure to share in the comments what you think about the show and what you like about it, and where you can find all of our fabulous people that are visiting us. So to get started, I'd like to start with Robin. Welcome, Robin.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's so wonderful to have you here.
I know, I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, and because Cougar-licious is basically a term that we're using to support women. It's about women who stand in their own power, who celebrate the divine diva.
Amazing.
And enjoy a little eye candy, which is, this is our eye candy for today, everybody. Ron Coleman. And so tell me a little bit about yourself, Robin. What do you do? I know that you're a gal from Maryland.
Yes.
You're an East Coast gal.
Yes. We both are, aren't we?
Yes, we are. I'm from Connecticut.
Yeah. I actually worked in Connecticut for a little while, many years ago, at Mohegan Sun. But that
Mohegan Sun.
That was a school internship. But yeah, I'm from Maryland, just outside of Washington, D.C. I always make that very clear because people try to assume that I'm from Baltimore, which I will never be from Baltimore. My mom is from Pittsburgh, so I was raised a Steelers fan, so I will never be affiliated with anything Baltimore, except for that I did go to school there, which I'm proud of.
Shout out to Maryland.
Right,
Shout
exactly.
out to Maryland.
You gotta love some good crabs every now and then. The kinds that you eat, not the ones that you catch. None of those. That's what you get. That's what you get in Baltimore. So no thanks. Exactly. But,
so how did your travels take you to Las Vegas?
So I've worked for the same company for now 18 years,
and what company
I
is
work
that?
for P.F. Chang's.
Okay.
And I bartend, I supervise, I wait tables, a little bit of everything. I have every possible option to clock in when I go to work. But I've worked for the same company for so long, and I needed a fresh start from a breakup. And at the time, it was a great opportunity to move out here, and I secured my transfer. And it's a great company for, there's even global locations if I wanted to go to the Middle East. Not that I want to, but I could.
That is fantastic, because that shows that you basically take the initiative, you empower yourself, you make the moves that you need to make a better life. And
Absolutely.
That is a very strong woman who is empowered, and that's what I appreciate so much about you.
Oh yeah, and I love
really
it out
do.
here. I mean, and everybody asks why Vegas. I'm like, well, people don't realize it, and the East Coast is expensive, and yeah, Vegas has gone up in the cost of living over the years, but it's still cheaper to live here than it is in Maryland. And also for hospitality industry, it's a better opportunity because in Maryland they have different wage laws for tip servers and industry people. So out here it's much better opportunity and lots of room for growth for sure.
And then you kind of segued into comedy. How did that happen?
What's crazy is that actually, I want to say it was probably 15 years ago, where I was waiting on someone and they told me I was so funny and you could be a comedian. And I think I was 22. And I'm about to be 41, but we don't talk about that.
Oh, again, you look marvelous.
Well, thank you. That just kind of stuck in the back of my head. And then a few years ago, the opportunity presented itself at Wise Guys, and I was encouraged to give it a try.
Yes,
and
that's where I first met you.
Yeah, and I do have a special place in my heart for that place because it's a great little venue to get your foot in the door. And being in the industry that I'm in, and I'm, waiting tables, I'm talking to guests all the time. And it's funny because people are like, oh my God, you're so funny. And I'm like, thanks, I know. And everyone's like, there's people that still tell me you should be a comedian. I'm like, funny story, I am.
Yeah. How about that?
Exactly.
And you can come and see me.
Yeah. And
yes. I know you've been featured several times at Wise Guys.
Yeah. And I actually get a lot of my material from my job, which is helpful.
From your job?
And my life. Yes. But yes, my job too, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I would imagine customers can certainly be a source of of entertainment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and on the Las Vegas Strip, no less, like right in the heart of the Strip, you see so much crazy
I
stuff.
bet you do.
I do.
Can you share a story?
Yes, I had a time where I had these guests that were they were making some very strange. This one gentleman was making some really strange noises, and I was worried about his well-being. I was like, "Are you okay?" Because the noise was very scary. And he was like, "Oh yeah, that's." He was like, "I was hooking up with this girl last night, and that was my my noise." And I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Are you okay?" He was like, "Oh yeah, it was great." I was like, "Is she okay?" And he was like, "Oh yeah." And I was like, "Did she stick around?" No. And I was like, "Yeah, sure," because like if it was me, it would go from from Niagara Falls to the Sahara Desert down there real fast if I heard that noise. So my guests, his friends started laughing, and they tipped me $100. And then they laughed at his friend, and they all walked away, and I was like, "Bye, thanks."
Wow.
So now my thing is, I think I need to pick up my guests a little bit more sometimes. But yeah, there's some other really great stories
And
too.
you have an 8-year-old?
I do.
I bet you he's a source
I
of...
do. He is. Yes. Sometimes I wish I could bring him to work because I feel like I could just say, "Everyone look at this cute face," because I could probably make more money if they knew the money was going to him. But yes, he is a great source. Actually, a few weeks ago, we were in the in the mall somewhere, and we were passing the lingerie section, and he was like, "Mommy, these are children's sizes. These don't fit you." And he was pointing at bras. And I was like, "Thanks, buddy. Thanks a lot." And I'm like, good call. I've lost some weight over the last year or so, but definitely those wouldn't fit me anymore. Still, that's okay. Like, thanks, buddy.
It's a good reality check.
Yes, thank you. That's what kids are great for.
Is that what
exactly.
they're for? I don't
yes.
I never had children.
It's okay if you want to borrow mine anytime. He's actually pretty fun.
I knew a woman one time who had like 6 children.
That's
and
a lot.
she was actually going to do that. She was going to basically rent out her kids for the holidays for people who didn't have children.
I hope she made
She
some
was
money.
going to start a business,
Yeah.
I thought it was a very novel idea. Well, I don't think she really followed through with
Probably
it, but
not.
it was a funny thought.
That sounds like
so
it.
yeah, just rent your kids out, and then they get all the gifts, right? You don't have to
Exactly.
worry about that
Yeah.
either. Yeah.
Well, and what's funny is that I actually have brought him to a couple of open mics that are it's at a restaurant that's a family restaurant.
Oh, which restaurant?
It's called Hammered Harry's. It used to be a Dick's Last Resort, where they can make fun of
Yes.
you. The employees can be rude to you. But it's an open mic, and my friend Mistress K, she's in charge. And what she does, she handed him the mic one time, and he walked around, and he actually just started asking people questions, and he was having a great old time. The only thing is that the first time I ever took him, one of my friends was on stage, and he said some very inappropriate jokes, and my kid's just like playing on my phone. Like, I was like, "Don't listen," because obviously it's still an all ages show or an all ages location, and but you can't control what the comics say.
Right.
And he just it was just really funny because he kept he would actually heckle a little bit, but everybody just heckled right back, and he went for it, and he's very outgoing.
Sounds like he's a chip off the old block.
Yes, he
That's
is.
it. There's no fear there.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So are there any particular places where people can come and see you, or?
So I actually have there's a contest for the next greatest headliner. It's produced by The Future is Female. It's on March 24th. It's at the Bonfire, and it's a contest, and a lot of people are participating every week, and you move on and advance to the finals. And once you advance, then you can actually get a headliner spot.
So the date that you just stated
March
is
24th. It's
March
a Monday.
24th.
It's a Monday because in Vegas.
At what time?
It's at 8 o'clock.
At 8 o'clock.
Yes.
It's a great time for a show. Everybody get out on Monday night.
Yeah.
Go down to
The Bonfire.
the Bonfire on
It's on Naples.
On Naples.
It's in what we call the Fruit Loop.
the Fruit Loop.
Yes, the Fruit Loop.
The Bonfire on Naples, and you can catch Robin Shaw doing her thing. And go on down and be sure to support her and put those votes in.
Yes, come on down.
Okay. And one more thing is, again, thank you very much, Robin.
Absolutely.
For being here.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, it's just a thrill, and like I said, I know you're going to go far. You're just going to go far in this industry. I do just want to take another moment just to make a little mention about our sponsor, Linder Health. It's a great skincare line. Oh, there it is again. Thank you very much. But Linder Health, fantastic. It is formulating your future, and that's your future skincare. Stay young, stay fresh, stay healthy, stay wonderful. Stay as wonderful as you are. Okay, now getting to our next guest, we have probably a veteran of the Las Vegas comedy scene. I have seen this man around for years. He is just hysterical. And he's a very popular local comic here. His name is Ron Coleman.
It's great to be here.
And it's wonderful to have you, Ron.
Oh.
And so I understand you're from Los Angeles originally.
I was born in Miami, but I grew up in Los Angeles.
Oh,
kinda
okay.
down by the beach.
Oh, well, yeah, it's tough times. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
rough
yeah,
life.
yeah.
Yeah. We're not going to go as to how far back that was. But
Yeah.
and I understand you started out as a stuntman.
Yes, that was my goal, was to be a stuntman. And I was coming along. I was doing some stunts. Then I ended up on that Dukes of Hazzard show.
Oh, I remember the
Yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah.
that was the #1 show at the time. So, and then Jimmy Best, who played Roscoe P. Coltrane, said, "You stunt guys should come to my acting class. I'll teach you how to act, and then we'll throw you through a wall." So, so he said,
Do you have to act as you're going through the wall, or do you have to?
Yeah, well, you're just going through the wall. So
you're-
you're not acting at that point. You're just going through the wall. But that's how Burt Reynolds got started, who was a really
that's
good friend.
right.
Yeah,
That's
he was
right.
really good friends with Jimmy Best, and he said, so we all the stunt, not all of us, but a few of us started going there, and then I started getting laughs in there out of nowhere. And I thought, what is this? I've never gotten a laugh in my life. I was never funny in school. And then Jimmy Best told me I should go to Harvey Lembeck's improv class,
Okay.
which was the #1 thing. Robin Williams was discovered in that class, and all the people went there. So I went there, and then I started getting laughs in there, and they said, "You should do stand-up." I said, "Okay, I'll do that."
Sure, I'll do stand-up.
I just started doing stand-up, and here I
And so
am.
you started stand up in Los Angeles. Then?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Back in the glory days when it was, comedy clubs were 6-7 nights a week
I was
all
a
over the
huge,
country.
I was a huge fan of the comedy clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah. At that time, I was in San Diego, and we had the Improv. I think we talked about that at one time.
Yeah, I did the improv there, and I did.
They had the comedy store.
There was that other.
They had the Comedy Palace, the Comedy Store,
Comedy Aisle.
the Comedy
and Pacific
Aisle.
Beach. I played there.
Oh, you're bringing back some memories.
That was one of my first clubs ever, and I played there a lot.
That was at the Islandia, wasn't it?
It
was a Bahia Resort.
Bahia Hotel.
Bahia Resort.
It was
That's
right
it.
by Pacific Beach.
Oh yeah,
a block
yeah.
from the beach.
Yes, I remember.
And the guy said, "You can play here as much as you want." I said, "I'll be there once a month." So I did a week a month there.
Yeah, and I bet you I saw you because I always frequented the comedy clubs. You know, I just loved it. I
Yeah.
just loved the comedy clubs. But the thing is that I was more involved with the theater aspect, and I used to go to comedy clubs and I would look up on the stage and go, "Wow,
Yeah.
that is something."
I did the same thing.
Because when you act.
Oh.
Right, you're acting as a character,
Yeah.
you know. So you would basically have to assume that character. But when you're on stage and it's you and the mic,
You and a mic, yeah.
and that's it. So when did you come to Las Vegas?
Right. I was in escrow when 9/11 happened. So I was
Really?
married at the time, so I had a wife and 2 small kids, and then we were in escrow, and our escrow closed October 1st. And so and everybody said, "Don't go to Vegas after 9/11. They said, "That place is going to go." I said, "I'm going." And we came out here, and I quit comedy at that point. I'd been doing comedy. I was making a living at it. I was doing great. And then I got married, had kids. So I go,
That kind of settled you down a little bit.
Yeah, so I went and bought a nice house, in a gated community, big backyard.
Do you still have that house, Ron?
No,
No, you-
my wife has that house. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment by myself. It's quite a drop off. Yeah.
Now I'm laughing because I know
Yeah,
a lot of your humor,
I
a
was
lot
a
of your
lot.
comedy comes from that.
Yeah, a lot
comes
of
from the
most of it.
experiences of being a single male out there in the dating scene.
Oh yeah, that's a treat. You're in Vegas too. That's
Yeah, and so what stages did you start with here in Vegas?
I started a company here in Vegas, and I did that for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then when my kids went to college, I called up Don Barnhart, who I had known
yes,
for
yeah.
years, and I said, "I'm coming back." And he said, "Come on back."
Yeah.
So,
No, Don is a great guy.
yeah, Don, I worked for him a lot.
Yeah.
So.
As a matter of fact, I think that's how we first were introduced because I was taking classes with Don Barnhart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He
Yeah.
used to have that little studio.
He had the Comedy Writing Institute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to go down there on Friday nights, I had like a class,
Yeah.
and then I would go on last, and
Yeah.
then he had the jokesters at the D.
Yes,
So I would
yes.
try new material out there, and then go to the D and do it. That's how we met.
That's how I got started. Don would have these showcases every 6 weeks, and then he'd have people like Ron come in to show us how it's really done. And
I didn't even know they had a place at the D for jokes. They did.
They
Not
did.
anymore.
Not
Right,
anymore.
right.
That was a
Yeah.
big place.
Yeah. Then everybody went sports book.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they
so-
tore it up to put in that sports book.
And
Yeah.
but it was a nice club.
That was a
it was
big
a really
room.
good club. Yeah.
It was
So-
Friends of Musical and then us. Remember that? Yeah.
It was
know
a
about
good
that,
time,
yeah.
but that's what you find in this town. There's one thing I always say about Las Vegas: if you don't like change, don't come to Vegas,
Right.
because everything
Always
changes.
changing.
Just turn around, you go, wait a minute, wasn't that boom, that's something else, a hamburger place now, You're
Yeah.
just like, but for people who are in the theater, I think that this is the best community to really get started with.
I
and
think
to
it's
grow.
the best place in the country for comedy right
Mm-hmm.
now. They say Austin is, but you got to be pretty high up there to go around Austin. But Vegas is way better than LA
Right.
was.
Yeah.
LA was great starting out.
Well, we are a tourist center.
Mm-hmm.
So you have all these different levels of
Yeah.
clubs and opportunities to kind of, cut your teeth in,
For
and,
sure.
and just keep moving and just, get your name known and all of that. And that's what I've always enjoyed about it. And that's I just came to Vegas like 6 years ago myself and knew nothing,
yeah.
about comedy. And then, like I said, just meeting people and taking classes and study. It's such a great place for comics to go and view other comics and learn, as to how the craft works. So, okay. So, do you guys have any questions for me?
How long have you been in? You said how long have you been doing comedy? Because I feel like we've talked about it, but I don't remember.
Well, I've actually been doing comedy since, I want to say, 2019.
Okay.
But then we had COVID, so that kind
took
of
an unplanned break.
Took an unplanned break there. Yeah. So 4 or 5 years that I've been doing it, and I basically came to Las Vegas to study comedy and to learn how to write comedy, because in my previous life I was a copywriter in advertising, and I taught it, and in education. And so my actual career path was I was an educator. And then I decided, well, I want to learn how to write comedy. And maybe I'll try stand-up, and if it works, good, it'll be fun, something to do. I was going into retirement, and so this is a nice thing to do for retirement.
Yeah.
It's instead of just sitting around, first of all, I'm terrible with anything with plants. There's nothing that lives in my house. Okay, I don't even have a plant in my house.
You don't
okay?
even have a dog?
No,
Or
no
cat?
dog, no cat, no fish, no nothing. I used to be pretty more domesticated than I am now. But now I just like shutting that door and just taking off and doing what I want. And
That's
be free.
amazing. Yeah.
So and comedy allows me to do that.
Yeah.
And the wonderful people that I meet, is just fantastic. So that's about it. I mean,
You're doing great.
Yeah.
well, that's
Overall, you with COVID in the middle. It's tough to get going.
yeah. Ron's always been a big support. He's
Yeah.
always been a great supporter.
You've been doing great ever since I met you.
Hustling,
Yeah, thank
bustling.
you.
You
Yeah.
always have something going on.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of my background. Too.
Yeah.
Part of the marketing thing,
Yeah.
doing that kind of stuff, and that's why I like to bring people along,
Oh, for sure.
with it, and do that and be helpful.
I was going to tell you, I have this. One of your jokes is my favorite joke about the pilot light is on, but the bakery's closed.
Yeah.
That joke, because everybody asks me sometimes, "Oh, do you want more kids?" And I'm like, "No." I was like, "I don't. I have an IUD," and I'm like, if I'm going to sue the makers of Morena if I ever get pregnant again. I'm like, pilot lights on, bakery's closed for me too. And I always say, one of my favorite comedians, her name's Donna Joy, and I'm always like, this is her joke, and I just
That's
have
so sweet.
I always have to throw it out there. Like if people are asking me, I'm like, nope, pilot lights on, bakery's closed. And if the bakery opens unexpectedly, I'm going to be real mad. So
That's another thing that I talk about too,
Oh, yeah.
being in my age, not even
Yep.
the Supreme Court cares what I do with my body,
Yep.
it's just kind of
Yeah.
like it's a very freeing age.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, we're kind of like a little running out of time. Everybody out there, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Again, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. We certainly would appreciate your comments. Let us know what you're thinking. If you have any suggestions, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, just let me know, and we'll definitely connect with this, because we're going to be moving with this program for quite a while. I do want to take an opportunity to thank my guests, Robin Shaw, and who will be at, let's do it again.
Oh, the bonfire on March 24th at 8 o'clock.
Okay, go there, vote for Robin. And Ron, where are you going to be?
Next week I'll be at Delirious Comedy Club inside Hennessy's Tavern on Fremont Street. I play there a lot. I'm there almost every other week.
Yeah, Delirious has been there for now quite a while now.
Yeah,
it's been a couple of years.
Now he just added Wednesdays, and then he's going to add Tuesdays starting next week. So it'll be 6 days a week. So,
yeah, and that's another Don Barnhart,
Don Barnhart
production.
Yeah. 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, and 1 show at 7 the rest of the week.
Well, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
You can't beat that. And Ron, like I said, is always fun to see you. It's always,
thanks.
Yeah, we see each other also at Wise Guys a lot too. Just cutting our teeth on our material and all of that, and which is one of the things that I really appreciate about Wise Guys too. Because they really have made it a home for a lot of comics.
For sure.
And have given a lot of comics an opportunity to break through and to see. And once again, I'd like to be able to thank our sponsor, Linder Health, which is formulating the future for good skin care. And be sure, I can also do like a little bit of a plug, because I do have a little bit of time over here. I want to plug our merchandise. What you can do is you can take a visit to the Cougar-licious website. That's Cougar-licious website to stay tuned for any of the updates that we might be having for shows, for our guests. We're also going to be featuring the link to this show here so that you can watch it as well. And we have a little merchandise store on there as well. So you could get great little gizmos like the Cougar-licious mug, as you can see here. And you can just order it there. And what I also want to do is I want to award my super duper Cougar-licious magnet. It's a refrigerator magnet. And Robin, you have yours there. And Ron, you have yours there for your very special Cougar-licious lady.
Oh,
okay, yeah, okay. So before we end the show, do we have any special comments or jokes that you'd like to leave the audience with?
So I recently, one of my newest things, have you ever noticed how a lot of celebrities are endorsing products at fast food restaurants? Mm-hmm. So I recently went to Dunkin' Donuts, just kidding. And I tried the Sabrina Carpenter, it's a shaken espresso drink. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, this is pretty tasty. It's like toffee and brown sugar, but as a openly bisexual woman, I didn't really think that this is how Sabrina Carpenter tastes.
Put a bump.
Yeah.
Put that little snare drum in there.
Yes, exactly. That's one of my new good ones. I made it on the whim. My friend was talking to me about it recently before I went on stage at Hammered Harry's a couple weeks ago, and it just was. I was like the perfect thing. I don't know what. And you know what? It's funny is I only know like 2 of her songs. But
that's all you need to know.
Yeah, exactly. But the coffee was pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but now I have to meet Sabrina Carpenter. No,
it's 2 more than I know. I've never heard of her.
You know what though? You might. She's one of those musicians. I didn't know who she was, and I'm like, oh, I don't know her music. But then I hear it, and I'm like, oh, that's her. Okay, because I had no idea. So
I don't keep up on music. I don't keep up on anything. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't go to movies. I don't.
Yes, but I do know you have garage. You go to garage sales.
Yes, I do.
Tell us your bit about the garage sale.
That was my wife used to like garage sales. I hated garage sales. She would just spring those on. We're having a garage sale. She'd sell all my stuff. She sold everything I owned. Yeah, I lost everything. Yeah, I didn't know I was moving out at that point, but when I was out of stuff, it's time to go. And now I'm living in an apartment. So now I got to go out garage sale and fill the apartment.
I have an air fryer for you if you want.
Oh,
As a matter of fact, I have a TV.
Oh, there you go.
I have an old TV.
Oh.
Is it a tube?
It's an old Samsung. It belongs in the Smithsonian. It really does. And I cannot get rid of this TV. I can't give it away. I try to go to Goodwill. I try to go to Red Cross. They won't take it. They won't. I called AmVets. They walked in. They looked at the TV. They went, no. I went, well, please take my TV.
Have you tried Craigslist? We got to just put a free porch pickup. Hopefully someone will come get it.
Yeah. I think I'll have to do that. I think I would, because I would just hate to just have it just destroyed, because it works.
It does work. But there's another thing that's really popular these days are rage rooms, where people they pay like $50 for an hour just to break things, and they get all covered up in like safety goggles, and then they get, if you're
it's
angry,
called a rage
room. Yes, and they get a baseball bat and they just beat the crap out of everything.
Wow, something tells me that they're going to be doing good business.
Yeah, especially with what's going on in the world now.
Exactly.
Sure.
It's but no, I've never heard of that.
No,
There's
they gave you a sledgehammer. You go around and beat everything up.
Oh my God.
There's actually a place called Spy Ninjas HQ. The only reason I know about it is because I have a kid, but they have a fruit rage room. So instead of things you're breaking, you're just busting fruit. I'm like, that's a waste of produce, but I guess they want to feel like real life fruit ninjas. I guess.
But that'd be kind of fun, though.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of like pie throwing.
Yeah,
exactly. They have that axe throwing thing.
Yeah, there's.
And the guy on I think Valentine's Day, he said you can bring a picture of your ex-wife, and I said, can I just bring my ex-wife? Yeah.
There's actually some zoos out there that let you name cockroaches that they're going to feed to their animals. Like you can name it like your ex, and say
and just feed it to them.
Yes. And also there's another one where there's some animal shelters that are saying, let's fix your ex. So like they have all these, cats and puppies that are, need to be fixed. They're like, we're going to castrate your ex for you. We're going to name the pet after your ex, which that's unfortunate. But then, then they fix them. They're like, they're never going to procreate again. I'm like, and it's a sponsorship to support the shelter, which I think is a great idea.
It's a great idea. Yeah. It seems to me like what we're starting to do here is we're starting to get a lot of material for all of bits coming on between ex-wives and ex-husbands and children and smashing and plastering and everything else. Wow.
A lot of material.
I don't know, just those
taking notes after I leave.
Yeah, I am too. I'm taking notes as we speak. But anyway, so again, everybody, thank you once again for coming on in and joining us, and we look forward to seeing more of you at the Cougar-licious Clubhouse TV show. And be sure again to like, share, and subscribe. Send in those comments. Let us know what you think. Really looking forward to hearing from you. And if you want to be a guest, let me know, and we'll chat about that too. And for all the rest of the information, you could go to Cougar-licious.com, where you can find out all the up-to-date information. You can even do a little shopping, get yourself a little souvenir if you'd like. Oh, and by the way, just wanted to let you know that that if you do shop on our website, that all the shipping is free. I've included the shipping in all of the pricing, so you don't have to worry about that. And we've got T-shirts, and we've got mugs, and we've got pouches, and we even have some underwear. Ooh, yeah, Cougar-licious underwear, along with wine glasses and all kinds of things. So,
just what Ron needs.
Once again, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Linder Health, and so stay posted. And until next time. Cougar on.
Oh, thank you.
Cougar-licious, in my power I rise with